heard that clip and lost their minds. And I need y'all to understand why. Because if you don't know the history, you might hear that and think, okay, two rappers made a song, so what? But the second you understand who these two people are and what connects them, this becomes one of the most controversial moves in Chicago drill history. Lul Tim is the man who shot and killed King Von. King Von was O-Block's biggest star. Chief Keef is O-Block's founding father, the man who literally built that name into something the whole world knows. These two men are not supposed to be anywhere near each other. They're not supposed to be in the same room. They are definitely not supposed to be in the same studio making music together. So when O-Block members found out that Chief Keef, their Chief Keef, had a song in the vault with the man who killed their guy, the reaction was exactly what you'd expect. Anger, disbelief, betrayal. But here's what O-Block is not talking about. But here's what they conveniently left out of their outrage. Chief Keef didn't just randomly stop messing with O-Block one day. They pushed him out. They violated him. They robbed him. And once you know what they did to Sosa, you're not going to be asking why he made a song with Lul Tim. You're going to be asking why he didn't do it sooner. That's what this video is about. Let's get into it. To understand how we got here, we need to go all the way back to the beginning, because you can't understand this situation without understanding what Chief Keef actually means to O-Block. Not what people say he means, what he actually is to that neighborhood. Parkway Garden Homes, 64th and Cottage Grove, south side of Chicago. That's O-Block. That's where Chief Keef, born Keith Frell Cart on August 15, 1995, grew up. Raised by his grandmother, Margaret Carter, in those same Parkway Gardens housing projects, running with the Black Disciples, living the same life every other kid in that neighborhood was living. The difference? Sosa had something nobody else had. He had a gift. At 16 years old, under house arrest, this kid was filming music videos in front of his grandmother's house and uploading them to YouTube. No budget, no label, no connections, just raw talent and the realness of where he came from. And the internet went crazy. The whole world went crazy. I Don't Like featuring Lil Reese hit, and suddenly O-Block wasn't just a housing project in Washington Park. It was a name that the entire hip-hop world knew. Let me put this in perspective for y'all. Before Chief Keef, nobody outside of Chicago was talking about O-Block. He didn't just make it out, he made it out and took the block's name with him. Interscope Records came running, a bidding war broke out between major labels. This kid, still a teenager, still technically on house arrest, signed a deal and became the face of an entire genre. Drill music. That's Sosa. He didn't just help create it, he is it. And who was right there when all of this was happening? O-Block, his people, his day ones. And for a minute, it was beautiful. He brought people out on stage. He put money into the neighborhood. He made sure people ate. That's what you're supposed to do when you blow up, right? That's what loyalty looks like. But here's where it starts to get complicated, because
moving different, real talk. And this is something that happens way too often in the culture. The block started looking at Keef like a resource instead of a person, and that's when everything changed. Now, at the same time all of this is unfolding on the other side of Chicago and in Atlanta, another chapter in this story is being written because Lil Durk was over here building, and one of his artists, a young kid from O-Block named Devin Bennett, better known as King Von, was starting to come up hard. King Von was the real deal. Sharp storyteller, vivid lyricism, crazy charisma. He was putting O-Block back in the conversation in a whole different way. And the fans loved him. The streets loved him. But here's what you got to understand. King Von coming up didn't fix what was happening between Sosa and O-Block. If anything, it just showed there was a split forming. Two different O-Block generations, two different energies. And by the time things got really ugly between Keef and his old crew, King Von was already becoming the face of the newer wave. So now you've got Chief Keef, the man who built everything, slowly but surely being pushed to the outside of the very neighborhood that he built. And you've got O-Block still waving the flag, still claiming that name, but apparently not extending that same loyalty back to Sosa. That right there, That's the foundation. That's what you need to understand before we get to the real violation. All right, so here's where it gets crazy, because we're not just talking about Sosa making it out and people being haters from a distance. We're talking about actual, documented, on-record violations, real ones. It starts around 2014. Chief Keef is at the height of his early fame. He's got the mansion, he's got the jewelry, he's got the money, and some of the people closest to him, people from his own block, people he grew up with, people he was putting on, decided they wanted a piece of it. Not the legitimate way, not through music or hustle. They just took it. Boss Top, O-Block member, somebody who was supposed to be Sosa's people. In 2014, Boss Top and other O-Block members were involved in a break-in at Chief Keef's mansion. Not some outside robbers, not some random ops, people from the same block, people he knew. They came in, took clothing, took jewelry, and according to reports, a shooting occurred inside the home afterward. This was Keef's house, his personal space, his crib. And what did Keef do? He went public. He aired it all the way out on social media, because at that point, what else do you do when your own people violate you like that? He posted everything. He said they stole his Montclairs, his earrings, his Robbins jeans, his Gucci bags, his Pele, his Louis Vuitton coats. He said, and I want y'all to really hear this part, he said they stole his daughter's clothes out of her room, detergent, deodorant, all of it. That ain't a robbery. That's a violation of the highest order. That's telling somebody, we don't respect you as a man. We don't respect your family. We just see a bag.
It's on a track with YB, somebody who is openly on the opposite side of Dirk. O-Block members and fans went crazy. The question immediately became, whose side is Chief Keef on? Where does his loyalty lie? And a lot of people were looking to Sosa to say something, to address it, to at least acknowledge the sensitivity of the situation. But Sosa didn't address it. He didn't need to, because shortly after, something even bigger dropped. Lul Tim goes on Instagram Live, no warning, no build-up, just casually hops on and says it plain as day. I got a song with Chief Keef. I got a song with Chief Keef. That Nin Nama called Who I Can't Play That Nana Though? That's it. No apology, no disclaimer, no, I know this might upset some people. He said it like it was the most normal thing in the world, like him, the man who shot King Von, having a studio session with O-Block's founding father was just another Tuesday. And that's when the internet went completely nuclear. O-Block members were furious, F affiliates were furious, King Von's fans were furious. Because in the court of street politics, doing music with someone means something. It's not just a business transaction. It's an endorsement. It's a cosign. It's saying on record, forever embedded in a song, that I'm cool with this person. And Chief Keef, who grew up in the same complex as King Von, who helped put O-Block on the map, who should, by all measures of loyalty, be on the side of his block, was apparently cool with Lul Tim. Cool enough to make music together, cool enough for Lul Tim to be hyped about it on live. Now immediately the reactions started pouring in, and this is where it gets really interesting, because even Lul Tim himself stepped up and addressed the people who were upset about the Chief Keef and NBA Youngboy rumors collab. He said it directly, all that crying and chat about a effing song, get some f***ing money. He was shutting down the outrage before it even fully formed, which tells you everything about where his head is at. He doesn't see any of this as a problem, and apparently neither does Chief Keef. That right there is the climax, gang. Two men, one who built O-Block's legacy, one who is responsible for ending one of O-Block's greatest stars, are in the studio together making music. And the block that should be the angriest about it, the block that should have the most moral authority to say something, they're the same block that violated Chief Keef first. That's the turning point. That's where this whole story becomes a mirror. Because you can't rob somebody, exile them, disrespect them and their family, and then expect them to ride for you when it matters. Now here's where people started connecting the dots.
And this is the part of the story where you gotta think like a detective, because everything lines up in a way that's almost too clean. Let's lay out the facts in order. 1. Chief Keef grows up in O-Block, puts the neighborhood on the map, makes it globally recognized through his music and his influence.
From his daughter and publicly flex about it. Boss Top admits to taking his chain on record. The violation is documented. It's not alleged. It happened. 3. Lil Durk publicly tells Keef he's not welcome back on the block. Sosa is exiled from his own home neighborhood by the people he helped put on. 4. Keef leaves Chicago, physically and emotionally disconnects, builds his own world outside of the O-Block ecosystem. He's doing music with whoever he wants. Gucci Mane, Mike Will Made It, Playboy Cardi, Lil Uzi Vert, NBA Youngboy. 5. King Von, the next great voice of O-Block, gets killed in 2020. Lul Tim walks on the murder charge. The streets are heated. 6. 2026, Lul Tim casually announces on IG Live that he's got a song with Chief Keef called Who I, and O-Block loses their mind. But here's what really happened when you zoom out and look at this objectively. Chief Keef doesn't owe O-Block anything. He already paid his debt when he put that neighborhood on the map at 16 years old. He already gave back when he was taking people on tour, letting people eat off his name, funding people's lifestyles, and they paid him back by robbing him. So the idea that he should now, years later, after all of that, refuse to make music with Lul Tim out of loyalty to people who violated him, that logic doesn't hold up, not even a little bit. And Lul Tim's energy makes sense too, when you understand the full picture. He's not from Chicago. He doesn't have a dog in this fight from an O-Block standpoint. He's not claiming their block or their politics. For him, Chief Keef is just one of the greatest rappers to ever do it, a legend of drill music, and getting a song with him is a career moment, period. The politics around it, that's other people's problem. Now, let's talk about something deeper. What does it mean that Chief Keef is willing to do this? Some people are reading it as shade, as a deliberate statement, like Keef is intentionally saying, I don't care about O-Block's feelings. And honestly, that reading isn't wrong. Because when you've been done dirty the way Keef was done dirty, sometimes the most powerful statement you can make is just living your life. Not doing it for spite, not doing it to send a message, just genuinely not caring anymore. That indifference, that's louder than any diss track. The street's been talking about this for months, and the consensus, most people who actually know the full story, who know about the robberies, who know about the exile, who know about Durk publicly blocking Keef from coming home, most of those people understand why Sosa moves the way he moves. They might not agree with all of it, but they understand it. The ones who don't understand it are the people who only see the surface level, who just know Keef is from O-Block and Lul Tim killed Von and stopped there. They're not connecting the dots, they're not doing the homework, and that's exactly why this video exists. Here's where we are right now. The song Who I, Lul Tim and Chief Keef collab, hasn't officially dropped as of the time this video is being made. Lul Tim said on live he can't play that SHT though, which means it's the fact that they made it, that's already the statement. And the reaction has been exactly what you'd expect. Affiliates are in their feelings, supporters are posting about it, fans of King Von are expressing their frustration online. The question, how could Key do this, is being asked everywhere. Chief Keef hasn't addressed it at all. He hasn't posted about it, he hasn't acknowledged the outrage, he hasn't explained himself. And that silence, that's intentional. That's a man who genuinely does not care. Not in a cold, heartless way, but in a I already processed this years ago when y'all violated me kind of way. He's moved on. He moved on a long time ago. Lul Tim, on the other hand, has been pretty vocal. He addressed the YB and Keef rumors backlash head-on by telling people to stop crying about a song and go make money. He's not losing any sleep over the optics. And honestly, from where he's standing, why would he? His murder charge got dismissed, he's free, he's making music, and now he's got a song with one of the most iconic figures in drill history. Meanwhile, King Von's legacy continues to grow. His music is still being discovered by new listeners, his storytelling is still being studied, his name is still being celebrated. But here's the thing about legacy.
It exists separately from street politics. Vaughn's music doesn't get worse because of this Keef and Lul Tim situation. His impact doesn't diminish. The fans who love him still love him, and the complicated politics around his death, that's a separate conversation from his artistry. What this situation does affect is the perception of O-Block as a unified entity, because of Chief Keef, literally the man who built that name into something internationally recognized. If he doesn't rock with O-Block anymore, that says something. That's not a small thing. That's the foundation of the house cracking. And when